of the PBA on Fox, and the sport's brightest stars are ready to shine. So, Velma won Player of the Year last season.
He's the greatest!
But a long line of cats are hot on his tail.
Get on that strike train, kid! Back-to-back jacks!
Today, we land in the Lone Star State, and whoever ends up on top starts the season swinging.
He got it! Oh, yeah!
We're looking for strikes, baby.
Massive cleanup!
And these 5 guys are like pins.
Yeah, keep it going. So much power, so much promise.
Knock them down, and they get right back up. The PBA Hall of Fame Classic on FS1. That's how we roll.
It is opening day on the PBA Tour as we welcome you inside the International Training and Research Center here in Arlington, Texas for the Hall of Fame Classic. And there are 2 Hall of Famers in today's field, including your 5 seed there on the right, Chris Barnes. He opens up, taking on last season's Player of the Year finalist, Jakob Butturff. Osku Palerma is in the house, as is the newest member of the Hall, Tommy Jones. And there's your number 1 seed, Darren Tang, the 26-year-old former Team USA member, only needs to win 1 match today to claim his first PBA title. And we welcome you to the start of the 62nd season of the PBA Tour. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer, Randy Peterson back here with you. The phrase Hall of Fame, probably an appropriate launching pad for this week's show. 2019 is going to go down as a Hall of Fame type year in PBA history. The resurgence of guys like Norm Duke, Jason Belmonte's year, the partnership with Fox Sports. But here we start 2020 with a Hall of Fame bender of a weekend for one Tommy Jones.
Yeah, it really was. You know, literally 14 hours for Tommy Jones since he was inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. And boy, what a great event it was last night. You know, we're so used to the stoic Tommy Jones, you know, the guy that looks like he shaves a broken glass, or you could strike a match in the palm of his hand. But last night, we saw a different side.
He was a puddle.
He was a puddle, and he was an emotional mess in between giving Chris Barnes shots in the crowd. And it was a really, really cool thing to see a different side of Tommy Jones, and I had a front row seat for the ceremony. It was amazing.
And we saw him this morning. The switch has been flipped right back, and he is pure focus. So we've got 2 Hall of Famers in the midst of today's show. We got a ton of Hall of Famers here to your left, lining up, watching the show. Yeah. But 2 Hall of Famers in our final 5 field. Kimberly Pressler standing by with both of them.
Thanks, Rob. So I feel so lucky I get to interview you 2 Hall of Famers at the start of the 2020 season. But Chris, we're going to start with you. So you have to win a few matches in order to go to head-to-head with your friend Tommy here. But yesterday you told me that you guys have the friendliest rivalry ever. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, we are good friends. And I think over the years, Tommy's success has done a lot to keep pushing me as the years have piled up, to keep trying to stay ahead of him, and he's never actually gone past me in the last decade. So I'm going to do what I can to first try and get to where he is, and then maybe, if I can maybe ruin his Hall of Fame weekend just a little. I don't know. It might make up for last night. He got all the shots in last night.
He sure did. So what do you think about what he just said?
Well, fortunately for me, Chris is beating me to all the age categories, so he's be the first one to beat me to 50. He was the first one to beat me to 40, so if I can beat him to 20, it's going to eat at him a long time.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward to kicking this off. We're going to send it back to Rob and Randy.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. I talked to Barney this morning. I said, what would win number 20 represent? And he goes, 1 more than Tommy Jones,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Take a look at the old pattern. The righties are going to play. The right lane is the shorter of the 2 patterns. The Mike Albee pattern, 39 feet. Dick Weber on the left, the longer pattern at 45 feet. Players are going to use stronger equipment, a little more angle. Jakob Butturff, he's going to play right around here, giving it a little bit of angle on the right and a little bit straighter on the left. He'll have the entire left side of the lane to himself.
keep an eye on that right lane. Tommy Jones said it transitioned more this week than any of the other lanes, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. Packed house here in Arlington as we kick off another PBA season, the second PBA season here on Fox Sports. Live coverage of the Hall of Fame Classic from the International Training and Research Center. So we're starting the PBA season, Randy. We're also starting the race for the PBA playoffs. Let's meet our first two competitors.
The number 5 seed, 19 PBA Tour titles, a member of the PBA Hall of Fame. From Double Oak, Texas, give it up for Chris Barnes.
And 49 years young, Chris Barnes, one of the most versatile players the tour has ever known, and he knows this bowling facility like the back of his hand. One of 2 players today looking for their 20th win.
The number 4 seed has 7 PBA Tour titles. From Tempe, Arizona, Jakob Butturff.
Falling to Bill O'Neill in the title match, 199 to 194.
Do you remember what cost him? I know, we did a lot of shows, and he had a little problem with some spare shooting. Missed a 7-pin and then missed the 4-7, lost by 5. Something to watch for today. We've got a little pin setter issue. We're almost ready to start. And I think we may have gotten it.
So an extra pause before we kick off the 62nd season of the PBA Tour. Curious, before we see the first ball hit pin this season, last year one of the big trends was some of the old guys making a charge and Jason Belmonte just charging throughout the season. Any forecast for this campaign?
I'm not sure you can expect much different. I mean, I think you're going to have Jakob. I think you're going to have E.J. Tackett. You're going to have Belmonte. I mean, you're going to have the usual suspects. We're going to have 6 dual pattern tournaments this season, so 3 more than we had last season, and that seems to favor a lot of the older vets. The older vets like Norm Duke, Chris Barnes, they tend to be a little more versatile, and the lanes don't break down near as fast because you only get 5 shots on each of those patterns. You see the red line, Rob, on strike track. That's the ideal line for that first strike. 5.4 board, so basically first arrow at the arrows, out to about the 4th board, and then curves back at 18 miles an hour and about 400 rev rate. And that's the line he's looking to play on the right lane. The left lane is going to play completely different. He's going to go to reactive resin, not urethane. And this line will be completely different because the 2 oil patterns are completely different.
Back-to-back opening jacks for Barney.
And I thought the players would be a little farther to the inside, but it may just be Chris Barnes and what he's able to do. So just a couple boards. You see the 6.7 there on strike track, just a couple of boards to the left of where he is on the right lane.
Talked to Barnes this morning. He said the importance for him today, get off to a quick start and put some pressure on that man, Jakob Butturff. Jacob's still young, a lot of experience, but not the length of type of experience that a guy like Chris Barnes is able to overcome. And maybe one of the points that Chris was alluding to is that Jakob enters this one a little banged up. For more on that, Kimberly.
Rob, he sure does. You may have noticed that Jakob has a slight lip today, and that's because 2 weeks ago at the Team USA trials, he got a minor tear in his right thigh and couldn't even walk. And this morning he told me his pain is about a 6 out of 10, and even though he iced it and taped it, he's still having a hard time bending. Now this injury is to his slide leg, so his plan today is to go a little bit slow on his first step, because when he gets too fast, the pain shoots up his leg.
Not phasing him one bit so far.
You can see that was a little bit outside of his last strike shot that he threw. But you're right, Rob. He looks pretty good early on. I talked to him this morning when he walked into the building, and I said, hey, how you feeling? He said, On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 6.
So, like how you and I feel every morning.
Like you, I'm like more of like a 4. And we take a look at Chris Barnes' arsenal. Booyah on the right lane, volatility, or what we like to call Randy on the left lane.
Freeze! Oh! Late drop at the 7. It has been nothing but pure strikes so far.
You know, when talking with Chris yesterday, we asked him, yeah, what's the key to beating Jakob? He says, well, Jacob's going to do his thing. He's either going to have it or he's not going to have it. And if he has it, chances are he's going to bowl a big game. So I got to be right there with him. And so he was pretty much saying that what you see is what you get. You know exactly what you get when you go against Jakob Butturff.
Say hello to your first Himbo.
Linda and the boys. Ryan and Troy. I think they're 17 now. Man, how time flies.
Asked Jakob about last season. He summed it up in one word: outstanding. Leaves the 7. Messenger, get out down in that pit. Get in your home. That messenger delivers on Sundays.
It sure did. You almost had the premature 3-bagger, and that was it. And then watch the head pin come off the sidewall, roll around, and well, clipping on the head pin right
Took
there.
a Sunday drive over to the 7-pin, finally clipped it. Opening ham bones here at the PBA Hall of Fame Classic. Can you tell I'm a little excited about that? I mean, that's how you start a season. Make it 5 for Jakob.
He's got a little room on that lane. You can see the red line just a little bit left of the last shot. Well, not a little bit. About 2.5 boards left, which is actually a big deal at this level in the sport. But perfect through 5 is Butturff. Now Barnes looking to answer. 8-6 match play record and almost 230 for the 26 games to get here.
Have to go back to 1999. That's when Chris Barnes made his first show and earned his first win on the tour. And here we are, opening event of 2020, and he's perfect through 4.
That got a little off to it there, Rob.
Again, that right lane is the one that's going to cause the pros some problems today.
Well, and using urethane on that right lane, all of a sudden the right lane becomes tighter than Grandpa's belt after Thanksgiving dinner. Players have to go really straight, and that's exactly what Chris Barnes is doing on that lane. You'll see the rest of the players doing that in terms of the righties. They use urethane on the shorter pattern to keep everything in front of them, and it also allows them to play both lanes similar. Remember, this guy's coming off of a pretty significant back surgery back in 2015.
Said he feels like it's the healthiest he's been to start a season since 2014.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the motion by Chris. He just kind of got around that one just a hair, and the ball scooted down the lane a fraction longer than he needed it to. And his run comes to an end after 5, but what a great start, and trying to keep up with Butturff as you see the soft 10 standing. I asked him if he was going to bowl any of the senior events because he's turning 50 next month. He says, next month, he says, I'm keeping an eye on it.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. is here.
Yes, he is.
He's been dominating that tour.
Player of the year
this
past season on the PBA 50 tour.
Hey, you know what's good? When you see a 300 by Max, and that's what Jakob Butturff has. Baseball world hasn't had a good week. We're going to change that next, courtesy of a certain Red Sox All-Star. We welcome you back to opening day of the 62nd year of the PBA Tour. Standing room only crowd here at the PBA Hall of Fame Classic. And once again, our thanks to the great folks at Clutch Bowling for providing us with their projection technology today. Chris Barnes, Osku, Palerma going through their warm-ups as they get set for match number 2. And joining us in the booth right now, a guy we saw an awful lot on television last season, Jason Belmonte, who just yesterday was officially handed the news that he was once again PBA Player of the Year. 22 tour titles, including 4 last year. And the big news, what you did on the major front. Now 11 career majors. Nobody has won more than the future Hall of Famer Jason Belmonte. Rob Stone, the current Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, here with you. Player of the Year again. What does winning the title from last year mean going into this year for you?
Mate, look, you know, every single time you win any award, you know the sacrifices, the commitment that you put into a season, the time away from your family and your friends. It never changes. It always means a lot. It always means everything to us players. So receiving that award again, no matter how many times I win it, I'm extremely grateful for it.
And Jason, I mean, with everything that you did last season and all the records, how do you stay motivated? What keeps you going, and what's the drive that leads you into this year?
Honestly, Randy, I never thought I would ever be in a conversation of the greatest of all time or greatest of a generation, and that's now my motivation. I don't want to just be, you know, one of the best. I want to be the best. I want to be the best that's ever laced up a pair of shoes. In order to do that, I've got to keep winning major championships, keep winning titles, keep winning Player of the Year awards, and that's my motivation.
All right, Jason's going to join us throughout the broadcast of our second match as we get you ready for match number 2, your 3-seed Osku Palerma from Finland, set to take on Chris Barnes. For the introduction, we send it down the lane, Kirk Von Kruger.
In our second match, he has 5 PBA Tour titles from Espoo, Finland, Osku Palerma.
Well, the first time we saw the two-handed style was at the 2004 U.S. Open. The first time the two-hander made a show. Last televised win, he was 2011 World Championship winner, Osku Palerma. Welcome back.
Well, he was 19 years old, Randy, at that 04 U.S. Open. Tom Clark, the commissioner of the PBA, came over before the show started. We were watching some clips on his phone, how young he looked. And Jason, you and Osku really brought that two-handed style to the PBA almost at about the same time.
Yeah, I grew up being the only player I ever knew existed throwing with 2 hands, and then I played a World Youth Championship in Thailand, and there was this other two-hander. There was 2 of them.
This other two-hander. Barnes, remember, opening match started with the strikes from the first 5 frames, gets another strong start here in match number 2. And how does your two-hand style different at all from the way Osku delivers it?
Look, I think every player has their own natural characteristics. Osku is a very, very strong man. His game has always been built around power, throwing it harder, hitting the ball harder than anyone else in the world. I would expect today we're going to see Osku do what he's great at, and that's keep the ball in front of him and really hit the ball hard.
Not the start he wanted.
Yeah, but a little wiggle down lane, as you can see that red line's wiggling all the way down there. But RPM's off the charts at 565, so that's again the power that we have come to expect from the two-handed delivery. But you know, I think the biggest difference, Rob, when you talk about Jason and Osku is just a much more violent motion with Osku Palerma, and Jason hit it on the head. He likes to chuck it.
And he looks to be in prime shape, by the way. That was some of the talk around here this week. That is the strongest, most fit he's looked in a while.
Yeah, remember the skills challenge we had some years back? Osku had to throw a bowling ball over a bar stool that was about halfway down the lane. So throwing a 15-pound ball 30 feet in the air, lands over the chair, and ends up going dead flush for a strike. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. That was pretty impressive to watch.
Another brief pause right there. Lane issues continue on that left lane. All the competitors forced to deal with it. Now you just heard some some wood drop. Yeah.
Left lane issues with the pin setter.
You know, ironically, all week, there hasn't been one single problem in this bowling center. The staff here at the ITRC really do pride themselves in maintaining a high.
Can Aaron Rodgers learn from their last blowout loss to the 49ers? What adjustments does he make, Rob? Can he beat that defense?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. It's a pretty darn good defense, though. Bosa coming after you and company. Again, the Super Bowl, 2 weeks from today, live on Fox from Miami. I know you got your tickets already. Are you in the booth with Eric Shakes
I got a suite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the tickets in the mail, and yeah. Take a look at his arsenal. Black hammer on the right lane, purple hammer on the left. And it was a nice, kind of a fortunate conversion on the bucket there in the first frame.
So all week, Osku was the only guy who, on the right side of the lane, was using urethane on the longer oil pattern. Again, playing to his strengths. He never wanted to give the pocket away, just kept the ball in front of him, and that urethane ball never made him move too far left. He could throw it harder and harder and just kept the ball on line, and you can see still amazing pin carry down at the other end of the lane.
I've got a question for you the next time Osku comes up to bat.
Barnes, 10 strikes, including all 3 in the 10th in our opening match to move on past Jakob Butturff, 258, 223. And nothing but strikes here so far for the Hall of Famer in match number 2.
Now, this is something I wanted to point out, and I told Chris in between the matches that he never gets enough credit for how much touch he has at the bottom. On that right lane, using a urethane ball, you can see how much harder he's hitting the ball, actually hitting up on the ball, creating a little early loft. Then you go to the left lane, and it's absolute pure class touch, just pure roll the ball down the lane, doesn't overhit it, and to be able to alternate frames and be able to control your release like that is one of the reasons why he's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, he prides himself on being that versatile. That's what he practices.
Last time he won a title on television, 2013 in Vegas.
And nice start, 3 in a row for Barnes.
The boys approve.
Fist bumping going on from Linda's husband to the boys. Take a look. There's that touch that Jason's talking about with the fingers going right up the back of the bowling ball.
Only 6 have more PBA earnings than Barney through his career, over $2.4 million.
Yeah, he's done okay. He's won a couple specialty events, too, for $250,000 a pop.
Palerma here, he had the high average this week, 232.85. So back-to-back jacks for Osku after that opening spare.
So, Jason, let's talk about Osku Palerma's delivery and what he does. Similar start, and then gets in that same position. You see right there where he's at, very similar to the two-handers. And then at what he does at the bottom of the swing. But I'm going to ask you, it certainly looks to me like Osku Palerma still has plenty of talent. What's holding him back?
It's a really good question, Randy. I mean, I've known Osku and watched him bowl for a really long time. He had a stretch there on tour where he just wasn't getting the results, and I'm not entirely sure if he was completely fit on the lanes. But when it comes to talent, the ability with strength, there's no one out here that can do what he can do. He's so strong, we can't do it. So when he does get his mojo back, when he finds his line, he's able to do things that no one else out here can, which gives him the advantage, which he had for all of our amateur career that I saw him play, and for a lot of his early professional career. So hopefully he looks healthy, he looks fit, and he's throwing the ball great this week. So I'm hope to see him, well, I kind of don't hope to see him back because he's pretty scary when he's back.
a mirror image of his last shot. 6 forward at the arrows, 4 down lane. Perfect.
So Chris has to utilize his speed far more on that right lane than rotation. He's not going to be able to have a high enough rotation as the oil is manipulated and changed. So in order to get that ball to roll high flush like that, he has to use as many revs as he can, but then also manipulate his ball speed, slowing it down fractionally so it will climb up the hill and go into the pocket, where Osku's move will be, I'll just hit it harder.
Sure.
Barnes dropped the opening 5 in the opening match, trying to replicate it here in match number 2.
Well, he's locked in, and he's throwing it great and made all the right decisions thus far. He's looking really, really solid. The 49-year-old, soon to be 50-year-old Hall of Famer.
And we're just 5 frames away from a Hall of Fame versus Hall of Fame showdown.
Yeah.
Tommy Jones, your 2 seed. This is the match that really both of them wanted. They knew Barnes had a lot of work to do to get there. Needed to take care of Butturff, needed to take care of Palerma. This one obviously still very tight, but to have Barnes versus Tommy Jones here at the Hall of Fame Classic, that's kind of what the script writers had in mind.
Jason probably knows this, but, you know, Osku is from Finland, but actually lives just outside of Gothenburg, Sweden. Him, Jesper Svensson, Martin Larsson, Kim Boldy, all bowl.
Messenger nicks it. Not enough protein in the shake this morning.
They all bowl and practice at the same center in, I think it's Partille, Sweden. John Skart's Partille Lanes. Did you know that?
I just liked how you said Sweden. Can you say that again for me?
Sweden.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah.
95% of the time, as we told you, what Tim Penn is taken care of on the tour.
Jason, what happened to the one-handed spare? He usually just put his thumb in it and chucked it 100.
You know, I think he worked out that he doesn't have to throw it 55 kilometers an hour to knock over 1 pin. He still pulls it out when he's trying to bounce pins out the back. I think it also was due to a little injury as well. But he's, I think personally, a far better shooter, throwing it with 2 hands. And this week, you know, in particular, was evident. I don't think I saw him miss any. Maybe one spare for the whole week that I saw.
So spares in the 1st and the 5th, nothing but strikes in the other frames for the finish. Power from Osku. Osku Palerma, Chris Barnes, the conclusion of match number 2 when we return to Arlington. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Jason Belmonte back here with you. Our coverage of the PBA Hall of Fame Classic rolls on from the International Training and Research Center here in Arlington, Texas. We're in the midst of match number 2. Your 5 seed, Chris Barnes, with the lead right now on your number 3 seed, Osku Palerma from Finland. Barney up to close out the 6th. He has been perfect en route to that 21-pin lead. Should he prove victorious in this match, he would meet fellow Hall of Famer and your 2 seed, Tommy Jones.
Jason, when does Chris Barnes have to anticipate or worry about early hook in the front part of the lane created by Osku?
I think right now. I think he's made a move. Personally, it might be minimal, but I think he's made a move.
Whoa is right.
Well, if you look at our numbers from Strike Track right here, the numbers are almost identical to what he's been doing. You see him trying to loft it there to carry the front dry part of the lane and cut straight through the nose, leaving the 4-7-10. We go cross lane and try to slide the 4 into the 10. The ball will take out the 7. Not enough cut.
Oh, he got it! The Hall of Famer is still alive!
I said not enough cut. He bashed that 1 pin out of the back pit.
Get up, Arlington! Randy, what do you know? He knew exactly what he was doing.
Hall of Fame kick for Barney.
4-pin. Double carry him off the bowling ball. Watch this. Bowling ball slams it into the pit, comes out. It just tomahawks the 10.
Good Lord, that's like something you see on SmackDown on Fridays. Oh my, momentum back to the Barnes lot.
I'm being told 1.4% conversion rate on that 4-7-10 split.
Left the 10.
All right, so Jason, he goes high on the right lane. He goes flat 10 on the left lane. Is that because of early friction?
This is transition. For the people watching at home that are unfamiliar with what happens to the oil on the lane, as the bowling balls are rolling down the lane, the oil is being manipulated, and that process is called the transition of the lane pattern. And Chris has experienced transition on both lanes. He was very fortunate to make that split spare, so the game score is still going to be very close. But what it also does is it also tells Osku the lanes are changing. I'm watching my opponent, who seems to have the ball on a string, miss 2 times now. It's up to Osku to read that ball motion from his opponent and convert it to his own shot.
After the opening 5 for Barnes, a pair of spares opening now for Palerma. What can Osku do with it?
Well, he can actually take the lead with a strike here in the 7th and 8th.
I think it's these 2 frames for Osku. If these go strike, strike.
Left the 10.
You can see by the numbers how much farther left he is at the arrows than Chris Barnes. That's a good 3 boards to the left, and that's all due to power, but not enough power to get that weak 10 out, Jason.
Yeah, it's going to get harder for him too. His ball is going away from the head pin more than Chris's. So Chris is seeing that hook, extra hook. Osku is seeing delayed hook. So the further left that Osku moves on that right lane, the harder it will be to get the ball to come back to the pocket. The further right that he goes, the more likely his rev rate is going to see even more early friction than Chris.
The lead at 17 for Barnes. For our bowling fans out there who have been watching the news, boy, there is just some real tragedy going on right now in your home country of Australia. And I know, Jason, you're stepping up to do your part.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. It is really, really sad. The fires are just out of control. In my home state alone, 180 fires, active fires.
My goodness.
More than half of them out of control. Nearly, well, no, actually, over 1 billion animals have died.
Big strike for Osku.
Incredible.
And, you know, my responsibility as an Australian is to do what I can. I can't fight the fires on the front line. So I'm donating $50 for every strike that I bowl on television and $100 for the title matches. But there is no guarantees that I'll be on television to do that. So I've also started a fund, 2 Hands Helping Australia fund, and all the guys out here on tour and everyone at the Hall of Fame dinner last night have been so generous in helping donate to that fund.
PBA donated $10,000 to the 2 Hands Helping Australia Fund. $50 for every strike on television, $100 for every strike in a title match. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. So the plan is to strike a lot this season.
Put me down for that.
Okay.
I will match every strike on television, every strike in title match.
Thank you very much, Rob. That
anytime.
Is really, really generous.
We have seen numerous firefighters from our great state of California board planes to head to Australia to fight these fires. Unfortunately, California knows that issue far too well. But what is going on? The images that come from Australia are numbing, heartbreaking.
Well, we thank everybody for thinking about us, donating, helping how they can. Now the idea is to rebuild, stop these fires, and prevent them from ever happening again.
Barnes takes care of that. 2 Hands Helping Australia. You got my paycheck, bro.
I'll be there.
That's coming for you.
A couple there.
Right now, Chris is seeing some fire on that right lane.
Isn't he?
That ball is hooking far more than I think he was anticipating. I know he wants to see that curve. He wants to get the ball driving. It's hooking way more than he thinks. And now he has to finish the match on that right lane.
Yeah, it's like the last shot he threw on that right lane, like his ball hit Velcro. It slowed down so quickly.
Stay tall.
Barnes stands tall with a much-needed strike in the ninth.
Yeah, good pitch there. Sets up the 10th frame for Barnes. Is now his max score is 255. Osku Palerma is still only 249. So it will come down to, once again, the 10th frame to decide match number 2.
I think it's going to come down to this frame for Osku right now. One more shot on the troublesome lane. If he gets this, I'm pretty confident he's going to be very locked on that left lane, and Barnes is going to a very tricky lane.
You like where he's at now?
Wow. I mean, you could hear the fingers pop out of that ball. He overhit that, and he made sure it struck.
It looked like his line was a little bit tighter going down the lane as well, a little bit straighter through the front part of the lane. But Barnes, like you said, still has to finish on the right lane. And take a look at the last 2 shots that he threw when he left the 4-7-10 split and then went high again. He's thinking about calculating what adjustments and moves he needs to make to finish the game on that right lane.
Yeah, Osku's got to be thinking right now, at least the first one. Make him have to throw a strike on that lane. Get 2. The chances of doubling when you're as lost as Chris seems to be increase dramatically.
Big shot, pulled it.
Gets away with it.
I mean, that was a pretty good yank left, but it had so much velocity that it just held its line and somehow found a way to trip the 4-7-10 out.
Well, and that's the urethane ball as well. So you know, even though it was well left, it isn't going to overhook. He was very fortunate to trip the 4-7-10 out late. But that is one of the advantages of throwing a urethane ball with as many revs as Osku, is if he does make an error, the ball will not exaggerate the outcome down lane.
What a huge break, as that forces Barnes to get the first one in the 10th, unless Osku has something really drastic happen on this shot and loses a ton of count. That's better.
4 straight.
Now Barnes has to get 2, Jason.
Tall order. If there's anyone out here, though, that can make those shots.
I get it. How many times have you been in the situation where you kind of get lost on that lane, you have to finish on that lane, you're doing all the calculations, figure out what adjustment you make, you get up, and the first shot you absolutely pure, and you strike, and the next shot is just a little off, and it's not even close. Thinking that you knew exactly what you should do, and it didn't work out.
Well, let me tell you what happens when you're throwing a urethane ball when you feel like that. Is whatever adjustment that you make, I always feel like you're either absolutely right or you're absolutely wrong. You never get, oh, that was pretty close. Chris right now is either going to absolutely pure these next 2 frames, split the 8-9, throw great shots, or he's going to see a ball reaction that is going to be very unfavorable, but I think it's one or the other. I can't see him getting close. It's either all of them or none of them.
He's going to parallel in.
I don't know what he's going to do. He's looking for curves, so the more left he speed control is, the further left you move. If he throws it a little bit too quick, it's going to be very difficult to get the 10 pin out. So now that he's got a good shape, he knows what he wants to do. It's just about repeating the shot, getting that ball to face up early enough, but not too early to go through the face.
Needs a strike and 5 to move on.
Maybe 2 of the greatest shots I've ever seen Chris Barnes throw.
That's pretty good right there, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you leave a split and then you go through the face on that one lane and then you're expected to throw 2 great shots, it's not just about execution. It's about the knowledge on where to stand. It's about the knowledge on how quick to throw it, how to let it go. Chris made an educated guess, executed perfectly, and this is why Chris Barnes is a Hall of Famer.
Only needs 5. He'll take 9. He moves on.
Wow, what a finish.
And it sets up a dream match.
Sure does.
Lucky spare. Take it over there.
Jason Belmonte, as always, thank you. I look forward to seeing you on TV without a sport coat and a collared shirt next time.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
Chris Barnes moves on up next. He takes on your 2 seed, Tommy Jones. And Tommy about to become just the 4th athlete in PBA history to pull a Hall of Fame double dip. We'll explain next. Welcome back to FS1's continuing live coverage of the PBA Hall of Fame Classic, the first event of the 2020 season. And how about the run from your 5 seed, Chris Barnes, a 258 and then a 254. He has moved on to meet fellow Hall of Famer Tommy Jones here in match number 3.
The number 2 seed has 19 PBA Tour titles, a member of the PBA Hall of Fame. From Simpsonville, South Carolina, Tommy Jones.
Tommy Jones, happy, healthy, and now a Hall of Famer. Lots more left in the tank for this 41-year-old from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Yeah, he's a good split shooter, too.
These two guys have a lot of numbers in common. Obviously, the big one, they're both Hall of Famers, both sitting at 19 tour titles. Very few have hit that number 20 number, and both inducted into the Hall of Fame within 2 years of each other. Also, both former rookie and players of the year on the tour.
Did you mention they're doubles partners as well?
I didn't. That's a great one, right? Yeah. Longtime friends. Yeah. You saw them right before we kicked off the show with Kimberly. They were yucking it up, and they wanted this match, and let's be honest, we wanted it too.
Absolutely. Barnes 10 of 12 strikes in match 1, 18 of 24 for the day.
First time he has not opened up the match with a strike today. Remember, he had the opening 5 in match 1 and 2. Now he'll have to go after the 2-pin and start with a spare.
And right after this, you heard Chris say, "Give me the Tommy Jones," and he was referring to tripping the 2-pin forward, which
almost happened.
Which he feels is kind of a Tommy Jones trademark.
Barney takes a seat. Wow. Up steps the Hall of Famer.
A great night last night for TJ and his family. His daughter was there, Ella.
Mom was there?
Mom was there.
Both are here tonight?
Yep.
There they are.
There they are. Mom on the left there. There's Ella on the right behind the Barnes twins.
How about Mom, Linda Jones, her first TV show?
Never been to a show. Amazing.
A little right at target.
Look how much deeper he is at the arrows, too. Inside second arrow. Chris, I think Chris was like 6'7" board. You know, there's just something that just doesn't seem right for me right now. It's the background music while Tommy Jones is bowling. I'm sorry.
He did not request this, I guarantee
Are you. But are you sure?
Oh, maybe.
I mean, Party in the USA. I don't know if you can hear it on the telecast, but I can.
I hear it too.
Yeah? Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, right? Now, listen.
Yes,
listen. It's no secret that this song is actually my jam.
Man. Yep. Just when I thought I knew everything about you. See Tommy Jones match play record. Boy, he lit it up in match play. He actually qualified for 14th.
Yeah, I got the last
final match play position on Thursday. Went 11 for 3 on Friday, including a 300 game.
Yeah. Well, won his last 7. There we go. There's that urethane, or excuse me, that reactive resin ball reaction. Look how much deeper he is right there. 16 out to 7.
Again, the winner of this one to take on your number 1 seed, Darren Tang. Darren seeking his first PBA Tour title. These two guys chasing their historic 20th.
Yeah, he's much farther in now. You can see the move that he's made on that right lane. Remember, he started around 5-6, and now he's a good 2.5 left. We're going to take another look at that.
All right, here it goes.
Take a look. 4th frame to 10th frame, launch position. That's the laydown area. So 6 to 7.5. He's moved another board since then. And it certainly is a game of inches, Rob, because each board is 39 boards across the lane. They're an inch wide.
Look out. 7-10, drops the 10. Messenger took its sweet time getting there.
He made a ball change and moved inside, and you can see again by the numbers, he's almost into Tommy Jones territory right there, but this was almost a catastrophic break for Chris Barnes as the 10 rolls late.
Whew. Yeah, I feel that exhale all the way over here.
Look out.
Missed it!
Been so brilliant all afternoon, and then that.
Focus on the shot you're throwing.
Yeah, this is just lack of concentration. And
Spare, strike, open frame for Barnes to start our semifinal. Oh, my.
First open of the day for Barnes. He was perfect, 1 for 1 on split conversions.
How about that 1-4-7 he converted in the 6th frame last game? He doesn't make that, he doesn't move on.
Right. Purple hammer on the right lane, prison hybrid on the left lane for Tommy Jones. Soft 10 again as the right lane is deteriorating at a pretty fast pace. The front part of the lane, the head area is breaking down, forcing the players to move inside. The ball rolls early and then it doesn't hit.
Remember, Barney just missed a single pin spare conversion. Now Tommy with an opportunity. Different lane, different pin. And that one into the bit. So Tommy Jones is the 4th to make a TV final on the same weekend. He's inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. Only Mike Durbin won on the same week, but the history is that typically the Hall of Fame was held earlier in the week.
Yeah, it used to be held on, the dinner was held on a Monday, and then we'd have Tuesday to recover, both practice session.
Tuesday to recover.
to both practice session, and then the tournament would start on Wednesday. Qualifying would start on Wednesday. Match play was Thursday, Friday, and then television show on Saturday.
Also, we are so programmed in this day and age to honor our Hall of Famers. Messenger just misses the 10. We're programmed to honor our Hall of Famers after their careers are done.
Right.
Here in the PBA, there's a lot of instances where we've got Hall of Famers who are still competing at an extremely high level, including, obviously, Tommy Jones, just 41 years old. He's got a lot more wins left in him.
I mean, look at Norm Duke, Chris Barnes. I mean, these guys still have plenty left. Chris Barnes went into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and I'm not sure. I can't remember when Norm went in. I'll get that for you, though. What do you call that, Rob?
Skinny jeans were put on for that one.
Yep.
Well, this is gritty, not pretty here in match number 3.
Agreed. Take a look at this. Woo! Yeah. Just caught a whiff of the 10 pin.
No need for a belt with that one. Now Barnes is giving Jones the windows. Tommy doesn't take advantage of it soon. Barney's going to find himself right back in control.
Yeah, now that's...
Well, that right lane is trouble.
Well, and I don't know if he means it's terrible.
Get to it.
By the way he threw it, it was definitely straighter up the lane. And the problem now is that there's been so much urethane thrown on that right lane that oil is actually moving towards the pins. And so that's why there's no down lane reaction to this shot. You can see just how subtle the motion is, and not enough to get it to hook to the pocket.
Chris is really fighting that right lane, and it's interesting because he came off of a brilliant 10th frame off the last game.
If you're Darren Tang, the #1 seed, sitting back watching this, and again, you've never won on the tour before, a relatively young guy, he's got a lot of international experience, but my guess is there's a lot of thoughts rotating through the old noggin right about now.
Right. Well, first and foremost, he's not going to go up against a chump. I mean, he's going up against
a Hall of Famer, right.
Secondly, right now he's just watching ball motion, but it's nothing that Darren hasn't seen throughout the week. And, you know, the one thing I love about Darren Tang, our #1 seed, he's not afraid. He's not afraid. Having trouble getting it to come around the corner, Rob.
I mean, how many potential 7-10s have we seen just for a quick snapshot and then a 7 drops or a 10 drops, but...
So he changed balls, came back to the ball he was using, and still flat 10 pin, but it's because the ball's going too long down the lane before it starts to make its turn, and it's happening on both lanes, more severely on the right lane for me, though.
Makes that one.
Yeah,
there's the snark.
Yeah, the sarcastic back slap, like, hey, way to go. Congrats.
You ready?
He's calling is he calling one of his boys to come out?
Yeah.
Come out of the bullpen?
Yeah.
Help out Pops?
He's calling the bullpen.
Yeah, Ryan, Troy, step up, guys. Tommy Jones already took care of Barnes once this week in match play. His lead is at 12 as he gets set to close out the 5th. Wide right of target.
Slow, Tommy. You gotta go around it now. God.
So what he means by that is he's got to slow his ball speed down because he has to go around the pattern a little bit more. So he's got to give it time to find some friction and curve back to the pocket.
97% of the time on the tour, the 2-pin is dropped.
Come on.
And nobody able to generate any momentum here in match number 2. We have yet to see a pair of strikes.
After some pretty good scores the first 2 games, and that's just transition. Jason Belmonte talked about it when he was with us in the booth during the last match. But, you know, that's how quickly the lanes change. And when they go through it, as you take a look at the unusual way Tommy Jones twists his thumb into that hole. Thumb goes in first, fingers go in last, and that's exactly the opposite of how you talk. It's heavy volume, which means a lot of it. And so slower ball speed was at a premium this week.
How do you attack this one?
I'd love to draw on it. Yeah, let me show you how you do this, Rob. Thanks. So what you want to do is you want to get the ball over here to the left side of the 2-pin, drive the 2 over into the 6-10, and the ball will take out that back pin, the 4-pin. Those were some beautiful lines I just drew there. Thank you.
Goodness.
I smell an Emmy.
Put that on your Emmy reel.
Right?
Really nicely done, Peterson. Tommy does not get it. Open frame, left 2. Barnes up 5. 5.5 frames done in our de facto semifinal. Which Hall of Famer will move on to the championship match of the Hall of Fame Classic? Find out with us next here on FS1. Welcome back to opening day of the 62nd year of the PBA Tour. You're watching the PBA Hall of Fame Classic. Tommy Jones inducted into the Hall of Fame just last night, which leads us right into our first edition of our new weekly feature, In the Pocket. And the focus today, who else but Tommy Jones?
Bowling was where my heart was, and which is what I always loved to do. But I grew up watching bowling every Saturday and paying attention to the greats. Mark Roth, Marshall Holman, and Pete, all the fiery guys.
Good shots. Good shots.
hate to lose at anything. I want to win at everything I do. If I can't win, I don't do it.
Big shot there for Tommy Jones.
To be elected by my peers into the Hall of Fame, it's something that I grew up wanting to do. And the cool thing for me is I got a text from Mark Ross saying, welcome to the Hall. He told me thanks for giving me something to watch over the last few years. So that was pretty awesome to me.
Talked to Tommy today about last night's Hall of Fame ceremony, and he's like, man, that was a mess. That was a mess. I was crying. I wasn't expecting it. And I said, when did you know you were in trouble? He said, when I was writing my speech and I couldn't get through it. I knew it was going to be a long night.
Yeah, if you can't get through the written part,
right?
Yeah, you're in for a long one. It was a beautiful speech, beautiful ceremony.
Needs a strike. Gets a strike. And you know who may have given him some insight on striking on that right lane?
Yeah, his wife, Linda. He was bouncing some ideas off of her during the break. Here it comes.
I bowled good enough the first 2 games where I carved a little hole right there. Now if you don't touch it, now it doesn't hook. If I sprayed it around, it'd be blended out better.
He's saying he's got to get it to that spot that he built for 2 games. You know, every time a ball goes down the lane, it takes a little bit of oil off. You keep throwing it in the same spot long enough, it's going to get dry there.
Lead at 5.
It's going to go.
No, double wood. Oh, this has just been a frustrating match for both of these Hall of Famers.
Yeah, a little cat and mouse game right now, trying to figure out the best way to get there.
Come on. Oh, it's going to go.
Whenever you have to hold yourself, you know it's not a good thing coming up, right?
Yeah,
keep it tight. Keep it tight, Barney. Keep it tight. That one in.
Yeah, good one. We got a good old dumpster fire going in this match. And, I mean, it's a little ugly right now, trying to figure out how to shape it the right way.
Rock fight.
Rock fight.
Rock fight live on FS1.
Right now.
But it's a fun rock fight.
No, it's a good one, though.
Just when you think somebody's figured it out, somebody shows up with a bigger rock.
Exactly. Yeah, just when you think the one, okay, here we go. No.
This crowd wants to get into it. So they were so explosive in the opening match, and then this one is just, hey, punch, counter punch.
Tommy and Chris want to get into it.
Don't they?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like they're handcuffed right now because the old pattern has gotten a little funky.
You know what? You and I should take out our wallets and say, you know what? Strip it, re-oil. Let's go back to the beginning when everything was striking. And Rob was happy and yelling ham bones.
Call Fox, get us another half hour, I'm in.
We might be, I think we might be taking that extra half hour as it is. Barnes got his hand up.
Yeah.
Somebody asking him a question?
So that's kind of a thing you do in league where if somebody leaves a 5-pin, everybody puts their hands up. And then if you miss the 5-pin, something happens. And I'm not at liberty to tell you what happens.
Commercial break's coming up soon.
I'll tell you then, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got the hands up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Isn't that great?
It's like the fourth quarter, right? Everybody's putting the thing, the 4 fingers up.
It's just, look how disappointed Chris was when he made it.
I love it. Pros, Hall of Famers out here still enjoying it. And look, we know this is not a league night appearance, but they're having fun.
These two are 2 of the greatest ever. They've got so much respect and admiration for each other, and they're great friends.
There you go, Tommy.
Careful now. If he figures out that right lane, he gets to finish. He gets to finish on that left lane. Talking to his daughter, asking her if she wanted to bowl on that right lane. Ella said, no way.
I'm good, Dad. I'm good. I'll sit back here and watch. Barnes on the right lane, which has been surprisingly better for him here in match 3.
He's got 2 out of 3 this game on this line.
Didn't like it.
A little fast.
Can't do that. Get it there. It's all you have to do.
A little fast and inside, never got to the friction.
One job.
Barnes still just 2 strikes here. Ditto for Tommy Jones.
Can't do that.
It
Get it there. All you have to do.
Just to show you how sensitive that right lane is, Rob. Another board or 2 to the right, and he actually hits the pocket. That was a board or 2 inside, and he misses the pocket light. That's all because of the urethane and the way that lane's broken.
An open frame.
Trouble
Nice
now.
frame. Come on.
And he's got to finish on that lane. Down by 10 now. Jones working on a strike.
And here that's a second open frame of this match.
Yeah, remember he whiffed the 7-pin early?
We saw Barnes with a 258, match 1 a 254, match 2. He's not going to see those numbers here in match 3.
Another ball change for Chris Barnes. In his right. That ball hooked in his backswing.
I got that one to hook.
He's got to clean this one up.
You ever gone fishing, Rob?
I have.
Not caught anything? Used a bunch of different baits and lures and stuff? Didn't catch a thing?
I'm not in the fishing game to catch fish. You know what I mean?
Then why do you go fishing?
One more shot for Barnes here in match 3. Oh, I'm sorry. That was it.
No, he gets the 10th frame.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the right lane.
Right.
But I mean, he's in huge trouble right now. If Jones strikes on this ball, it's all but over. And Tommy's got a pretty good look on the left lane, and I think he knows what he wants to do on this right lane. It's just a matter of executing.
Yet to strike, though, on this right lane.
Yeah.
There's his first strike. Well, he knows he is that close to the title match.
Looks like he went with a different ball on that right lane. The same ball with an extra hole in it. Something that'll roll up a little bit sooner, and that time it did. Caught enough friction and ended up flush in the pocket. Tommy Jones right now, max score 212. Barnes, max score 182. Needs any mark to shut out Chris Barnes. And it's a shame, as great as Chris Barnes is bowled today, to have the kind of trouble, miss 2 spares in this match against Tommy Jones.
Left the 10 pin.
Just needs a spare. Well, what a great shot that was, though, by TJ. He has finally figured out the left lane and has made a couple of nice shots coming in. Needs a spare in 2.
Can you remember the last time anybody on television won with just 3 strikes?
Oh, God, I know that we've had a couple of low-scoring matches last season.
For the record, is not the one I wanted to shoot.
You don't see it a lot, that's for sure. But, I mean, these can still be great, entertaining matches.
I mean, these are like Tom Doherty type numbers.
Oh, wow. He is going to love you for that.
Too soon?
No, not for you. It's never too soon for Rob Stone.
TV.
Oh, that's it. The Hall of Famer will move on to the title match. Tommy Jones tries to complete a wonderful Hall of Fame weekend with the title, but that man, the 26-year-old Darren Tang, your 1 seed, stands in his way.
The number 1 seed is looking for his first career title from fabulous Las Vegas. Give it up for Darren Tang.
I mean, come on, Rob. Who doesn't love an underdog? Listen, don't count this kid out. Don't cut him short. 2 300s this week and went from 4th to 1st, the last game of match play, to capture the #1 seed. Darren Tang is the real deal.
Yeah, he's a 2-time PBA Tour runner-up. And he is gunning for that elusive first title. Toe-to-toe, tail of the tape. Big difference in a lot of these numbers. Jones up first.
Darren Tang, excuse me, go ahead, Rob.
Just hours ago, Tommy Jones honored and inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame, and now he's trying to win a title on the same weekend. That's how you start.
Before I rudely stepped on you, Tommy Jones is starting the match on the left lane. Darren Tang had choice. He makes Tommy finish on the right lane. The pesky right lane.
That's what I would have done. Perks of being a 1 seed. See Darren's numbers on television. This is his 4th career singles TV appearance.
That's how you start, kid. That's how you start. Rob, I watched him in warm-ups, and his reaction looked really nice on the right lane.
There's Coley Edison, the CEO, and on the left. Oh, welcome Tom Shannon, the CEO of Bolero Corp. We got the heavy hitters in the house in Arlington.
Yeah,
Big Nasty with a good seat right behind him,
We got the big brass. You had
Love it.
Barb and Bill Chrisman just to the right of that. The owners of Storm.
I saw him walking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big daddy.
Yeah, he's
Bill
good.
Chrisman.
He's good people.
He is.
Great start to our championship match.
So you see the urethane on the right lane, which has been typical all day long. Reactive resin on the left lane. Darren Tang going with the same formula. So many heavy hitters and important folks at this event. Corey Dykstra from Brunswick was at the Hall of Fame dinner last night as well. But just the who's who of the industry have made an appearance here this week at some point.
Chad Murphy, the USBC executive director, there as well. Great. I love how they actually start the season with an event like this, honoring everybody and looking back and thanking those who have contributed to where we are right now, and also looking forward to the future of this tour.
It's just great to see the representation by the companies, and there's a couple of big hitters there.
About that,
probably
Walter
the
Ray in the house.
biggest of all time, Walter Ray Williams Jr. sitting next to Mike Albee. I can't believe he's sitting next to that many lefties. Albee, Scroggins, and Lichting.
Back-to-back opening jabs for TJ.
Tommy got a strike on the right lane. Hey-o.
You want to put me on the right lane? Put me on the right lane. Oh, damn. There were just 3 strikes in the last match for Tommy. He's already at 2. Who's he pointing out right there? Huh?
I think that was Charles, our handheld cameraman, saying that one's for you.
If it wasn't, it should be.
Yeah. Charles Montgomery.
Yep. Emmy Award-winning photographer on the PBA Tour. I think he was also given a Peabody Award, if I'm not mistaken.
Curving it. Rob, he's curving it now. Watch out. Curving it. This may come down to a carry contest, because I think Darren Tang is going to hit the pocket. Remember that second frame for Darren? He left that 10 pin, and that's really the only difference right now. But watch the curve. He's going to curve it now. And it's all about getting his ball speed to stay soft enough. Darren Tang has no problem doing that. In fact, that's his bread and butter. He likes staying soft and just kind of being real relaxed and medium speed, medium rev rate, keeping everything in front of him. See him get his ball to read. See how it picks up? His speed's soft enough and his hands up the back. He can get that ball to read on that right lane.
So watch this timing, real early timing. Watch how quick he gets it into the swing. It's by his right leg in his first step. So he really has to wait on his swing on the way down from the top. Does a beautiful job of that. This young man can bowl. I've seen it time and time again. He doesn't look like a whole lot as you look at his arsenal, pitch black on the right lane, physics on the left. But this young man can flat bowl.
Strike, spare, strike for your 1 seed. And it's a double. Mom, Chrsi, Dad, Thomas there.
Yeah.
His brother, Michael, as well.
Michael, yeah.
The Tang gang.
Bull DMC.
Yeah, I love that. I saw that patch.
Darren, Mike. It stands for Darren, Michael, and Chrsi. Chrsi, another player out here on the tour. Two-handed specialist. We had to come up with our own kind of logo thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we should come up with something.
Tommy Jones, just the 4th player to make a TV final in the same weekend. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Stay soft. Beautiful shot. Handbone! Yes, sir. Handbone, 4-bagger, 4 in a row, whatever you want to call it. But that's beautiful. And that's Tommy Jones taking advantage. The newly inducted Hall of Famer just putting the touch on this shot on the right lane.
He was 15th after qualifying round 1. Only moved up 1 spot to 14th, then to 7th, and then to 2nd. What a week it has been for Tommy. Again, coming in here as the number 2 seed last night, inducted into the Hall of Fame, trying to become one of very few to have won 20 career PBA Tour titles. Only 12 have done it.
That's a rarefied air as well. There again, a look at the fam.
Mom, daughter.
Danielle, girlfriend on the right.
Get in the pit. It's happening, man. It's happening. You feel it.
Hall of Fame weekend, Rob.
It's just a bad day to be Darren Tang.
Tommy Jones just absolutely gets filthy disgusting. I mean, this is nastier than a vulture's breath. Watch that messenger come across and just chop block the 10.
What happened? Let's go, people!
We heard from him earlier in the show. I like those fiery guys, right? And there's that fire. That sounded like from something from the Pete Weber playbook. Responds.
Remember what I told you?
Yeah, you said this guy is not afraid.
He's not. He's got a lot of moxie, and he is not afraid to step up and throw it when he has to throw it. And that was pretty evident by that last shot that he just threw after that explosion by Tommy Jones right in front of him.
Looking for 4 in a row. Had a pair of 300 games this week and dropped Tommy in match play.
Told you. He's going to get Tommy Jones all he wants.
Remember how subdued this building was last match?
Yeah.
Script flipped.
Look at those eyes, man. When he let go of it, it's like he could stare a hole in the floor of the lane. 5 for 5 for Jones, 5 for 6 for Darren Tang. Tommy Jones now stepping up on the tricky right lane, which he has to finish this match on, this title match. The Hall of Famer trying to complete the trifecta for the weekend.
Already 2 strikes on that right lane here in our championship match.
Tommy's thirsty for a title.
Yeah, and he's got a taste for it right now. You can see the touch he put on that shot on that lane. He can really feel it. He's tasting victory. It's just a few frames away, and he's really starting to make quality shots, especially on the right lane. Watch this touch.
Come on, one more.
Perfection through 7. Hall of Fame performance by our newest Hall of Famer, Tommy Jones. I love how his upper body head drops down, doesn't come up and out of the shot at the point of release. That's been his signature trademark throughout his career.
But by no means is Darren Tang on his back and on the mat. Down 30, but he's figured his game out very quickly. And that was an awesome jinx by me.
Well, and that's the one he couldn't afford. He got it inside a target, and it never picked up, never read the lane surface, and that's why it went light and didn't get to the pocket. There's that little strip that Chris Barnes created a couple of boards right of the last shot that Darren Tang threw in terms of location. He didn't get it far enough right, and it went light.
Being the top seed, far from a guarantee that you win the title. Last year, 8 and 14 was the #1 seed. And stepladder finals, good cleanup there from Vitamin D.
Vitamin D?
Vitamin D. Yeah, he's got that all over his handle. I actually asked him about the Vitamin D nickname. He says it's everywhere. And well, how did it come about? He goes, yeah, my buddies were messing around on my phone and they just made an Instagram handle for me and it stuck. You need a better passcode, Darren. Come on, man.
So he's part of Run DMC, Bowl DMC, and somebody hit me up on Twitter that said you and I should be Stone 8. All right, nice shot there by Tang. Actually, it was Tania Moore, BJ Moore's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we send our well wishes out to the Moore family and their young family, and hope to see BJ on the telecast and Tania out with the kids. I think that, or is it just one? I can't remember. It happened so fast. I think they have 2 now. I'll hear about it either way. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Look, I've got.
They do have 2.
I've got 4 kids, and on my best day, I'm lucky to remember how many I have. I don't want to do this, Randy, but I'm going.
Oh no, you're not going there now.
I am. I'm going to page 11 of our tournament notes.
All right.
I'm thinking about it. I want to turn to page 11 for a reason.
Get there. Yeah. The seat in a row.
You know what's on page 11 of the tournament notes?
I do.
Yeah. All-time PBA 300 games on television.
Yep.
Yep, I'm there. I'm sitting there. I'm staring at page 11.
What was the last one?
I love page 11 because I want to be part of page 11. 26 times it's happened. Last time in Vegas, 2016. Oh, guy. Francois Lavoie.
Yep, against the Candyman, Sean Maldonado.
Won his first title on that show.
Yep.
10K bonus if you are perfect.
Knowing the kind of guy Tommy Jones is, if he does shoot 300, he'd probably give that 10K to Jason Belmonte. Keep in mind that he's coming off of a big win. Just about a month and a half ago, he won $100,000 at the last Bolero Elite Series of the year.
He's got 9! 3 more strikes from perfection.
He's got 9, but that also locked up the win. 20 wins now for Tommy Jones.
Just the 13th pro to hit that number. But the number we're staring at, the one under the word max, 300. Darren Tang, the #1 seed, a wonderful performance here, being completely overshadowed by what the Hall of Famer Tommy Jones is unleashing on us.
Well, remember, we talked about at the start of this match how Tommy Jones has to finish on the tough right lane. You've seen what it's done to Darren Tang. You saw what it did to Chris Barnes last game.
So you would think that Tommy Jones getting up on the right lane and the odds of striking out would be... Hit it.
Yeah, they both drop.
Good.
We already know Tommy Jones has won his 20th Tour title. The story right now, while people are standing up, is because his pursuit of 300 is on.
Yeah.
Look at this late 7-10 drop.
What was the one thing we did not have on television last year, our first year with Fox? What did we not have?
300 game.
Thought you might say that. Boy, Darren. All right. Way to finish, kid. You'll see more of Darren Tang, I promise you.
He's got one more shot. In the meantime, get on the phone, get on your device, alert your friends.
Right now.
Get over to FS1 ASAP. We've got a potential 300 game brewing and in a title match to boot. That is a wonderful performance from Darren Tang. We'll talk about it more in the coming weeks, but we're going to close the book on Darren right now.
He would have won by 40 the last game. 40. All eyes on Tommy Jones, all hands on deck. And what a way to possibly kick off this new decade.
We had 4 300 games this week. All of them rolled by our finalists, including one from Tommy. He's got the Bo Derek, the perfect 10. 2 more to go.
Come on, Tommy, keep it together.
Let's go, man. Let's go, Tommy.
Keep it together, brother. Come on. This is where you just try to find your zen and get into that place where you think of nothing, you hear nothing, and it's just full autopilot.
Only 26 times on television has a 300 game been rolled. Tommy Jones, just hours after being inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame, has already won his 20th Tour title. And now he's going to try to cap off the weekend with perfection.
Can't script it any better than this, can you?
He already knows that hardware is going home to South Carolina.
One going.
In your life, have you ever seen anything that spectacular?
I hate that you beat me at 20, man. What a great way to do it. Look at man. Looking awesome, baby. Looking awesome.
That was Wes Malott. He had already hugged Chris Barnes. The last shot. Get low and get on up.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, you can't place it any better than that. It just splits the 8-9 in half. And what a performance. He beat his last game against Barnes by over 100.
He had 190 in the semifinal.
300. How about Linda Jones's mom? Her first time watching her son on television, and he drops a 300. Tommy standing by with Kimberly.
Tommy Jones putting an exclamation on why you belonged in the Hall of Fame, getting a 300 the day after you inducted. How do you top this?
I haven't the slightest idea. Right now, I'm like beyond nervous, more nervous than I've ever been. But wow, that was a lot of fun.
Could you have written a better script than what happened here this weekend?
No chance. My family's here. Hall of Fame, both 300 for the title. You know, hats off to Darren. He bowled a very good game also. He's going to win many times. You know, and now when they do the pro-ams, I got 20 and Barnes has got 19, so let's go.
Let's do this. Congratulations on kicking off 2020 with a win.
My goodness. My goodness. That's how you start a season. There's Hall of Fame weekends, and then there's Tommy Jones's Hall of Fame weekend.
Thank him for everything. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Next Sunday, we keep the ball rolling. We are live in Shawnee, Oklahoma, Sunday, 2 Eastern on FS1. It's also streaming on the Fox Sports app. Tommy Jones, your number 2 seed. Saturday night, he was inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. Today, live on FS1, he becomes just the 27th pro to full perfection on television. Another tour title and a